Well, in our co-main event, it's going to be 6 rounds of boxing in the female junior lightweight division as the undefeated Kara K.O. Rowe will be taking on Lakeysha Williams. And for Kara Rowe, a former world champion, but Steve, she has not fought in a year and a half.
And part of being successful in this business is to fight consistently, and that's been her problem. Some of it not her fault that the opponents have fallen out. But the question is, can she recapture that magic that she had a couple years ago when she won a world title? She still never lost, so we'll find out soon whether she's still as good as she was. I think we have an outstanding fight coming up.
I agree with you, Steve, and when we come back, we're going to kick things off from here in Dearborn, Michigan. Stay with us.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner and wearing the black and white trunks. She weighed in at 130 pounds and has 9 victories and 3 draws in 22 professional fights. She is fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Please put your hands together for Lakeysha "The Total Package" Williams! And her opponent, fighting out of the red corner and wearing the white and red trunks. She also weighed in at 130 pounds and is the former WIBA lightweight champion of the world. She sports an outstanding undefeated record of 14 victories, 7 by way of knockout with no defeats. She hails from Windsor, Ontario, and is fighting out of Detroit, Michigan. Please welcome Kara K.O. Rowe! Referee Grable to give the instructions.
And now, Steve, let's go ahead and take a look at the matchups.
Well, as you notice, Kara Rowe has a 4-inch height advantage, and she has a pretty significant reach advantage. But I think the biggest advantage is that she's undefeated, and that always carries that extra incentive not to get that first loss.
Well, we are getting set now. This one's scheduled for 6 rounds. Kara in the white with red, Lakeysha Williams in the black with white.
And Kara comes right out of the chute, establishing and firing that jab, showing no signs of ring rust, no signs of hesitation. And it's a very nice jab, and it's exactly what you need to do to be effective in this sport. I mean, Kara's showing just beautiful skills here in the first 15, 20 seconds. She's got good lateral movement. She's got a good snapping jab. She's getting out of the way of the counter punches. But I'm very impressed with that jab, Tom.
It's Lakeysha now trying to get a jab of her own established.
Well, she has to find an answer for Kara Rowe's jab, because if she can't get underneath it or behind it, you know, Kara's just going to pot shot her from the outside. Kara's got the height and reach advantage, and if she continues that lateral movement, it's going to be hard for her opponent to get in there and land any shots. It's almost like if you fight a big brother who's taller and has longer arms, and he just puts his hand on you and you swing away and you can't ever land one on him.
Did that happen to you, Steve, as a kid?
It did, as a matter of fact, and I have a very tall older brother. So I am speaking from experience, Tom. But Kara looks very good here.
That she does, missing with the right hand now, and both ladies tying up.
You know, and Carlos Linas has an undefeated fighter in Vernon Paris, but this is also a Carlos Linas fighter who's undefeated, so he's building quite a stable here, and she certainly has that star power if she can stay healthy.
Kara has had to deal with some injuries, one of which a back injury, which actually resulted in her vacating that WIBA Women's World Lightweight Championship.
Well, and she took a right hand here, but she didn't show any hesitation to re-engage.
We come now to the end of round number 1. This one's scheduled for 6.
Break!
I've got it 1 round Rowe, 0 rounds Williams.
This one's scheduled for 6.
I just love the fact, Tom, that Kara Rowe uses that jab. I always harp on the fact that it's the most important punch in boxing, and this jab has good snap. It's not that defensive pawing jab. It's a jab that's designed to do damage and keep your opponent at bay.
Break!
Lakeysha Williams, she's been in there with some tough fighters during her career.
Yeah, and she just hit Kara Rowe on the break, and that really seemed to get Rowe his ire up. I mean, Williams is showing some dirty tactics inside, but Rowe needs to keep her cool, keep her calm, because she has a good game plan going here. She's boxing very effectively from the outside. She has very good reflexes. and she just needs to keep popping that jab and showing lateral movement, and that'll be a winning formula for her if she can avoid getting into a brawl.
And you may notice the number 18 on Kara Rowe. That's in remembrance of Mickey Reno, who played for the Ontario Hockey League for the Windsor Spitfires, and unfortunately he died suddenly at the young age of 19. So our condolences to the family and friends of Mickey Reno, who had a very bright future ahead of him as a professional hockey player.
Very classy move by Kara Rowe, and she always conducts herself well outside the ring as well inside the ring, and she's conducting herself in a very professional workman-like fashion, just picking apart Williams from the outside. You get the impression Williams really wants to try to get inside and mix this up, but Rowe's just not letting her.
We come now to the end of round number 2. It's been all Kara Rowe, scheduled for 6.
Stop.
We welcome you back to the beautiful Ford Community and Performing Arts Center in Dearborn, Michigan, as we are moving now to round number 3. It's Kara Rowe and Lakeysha Williams.
Yeah, and I have to think whatever butterflies Kara Rowe had being off for a year and a half have to be shaken off right now, because she had 2 very comfortable, very relaxed, very effective rounds, and I've got her ahead 2-0 going into the 3rd round, and the 3rd round is starting out much like the first 2. She's popping that jab, showing lateral movement, and she's been the effective aggressor, and she shows a good defense, although Williams finally gets in a counter right there. Rowe tries for about the first time to land a lead right with that. Oh, and she gets a little left hook in there. But she's showing a good arsenal, and it looks like she's loosening up and getting, nice right hand.
A very nice right hand lands for Kara Rowe right there.
Yeah, she seems to be opening up. I think that's because she's now a little more comfortable after getting a couple rounds in the books. Before she was winning the fight just strictly using her jab, and now she's opening up with left-right combinations and effectively blocking the counter shots by Williams. I mean, right now she's owned this fight through 2.5 rounds.
Kara, who also has a business and psychology degree from the University of Windsor. She was a volleyball captain.
Well, she's very athletic. You can notice that her foot movement and lateral movement, she's very light on her feet, and she can get out of the way of punches using her feet, and she just got a nice left hook in there. Oh, another left hook.
Stop.
Referee Dale Grable now warning for low punches as we come now to the final moments of round number 3, scheduled for 6.
Oh, knockdown.
Lakeysha losing her balance and falling backwards. And that was ruled a slip.
I disagree. I think there was a punch behind it, which should have made it a knockdown.